Hi, I'm Dave. This is Crit Thinking 418. Just wanted to encourage you not to quit thinking, but to start crit thinking. And so, we run into a situation all the time where, atheists basically bring up that the concept of pain being in this world, of pain being so present, that would give them sort of the authority to go up to God and say, I don't want to be in your kingdom. What you did is bad. How could you kill innocent people and, children and different things like that? And so, what do we answer to that? So thinking critically, I would say, okay, first of all, the Christian and Judeo-Christian narrative explains that situation. So what it does is it says that man sinned, and therefore God punished man, and put him in an area where things don't go right, where there are bad consequences, where there's disease and all that stuff. So that's the Christian explanation, but the bottom line is that atheists don't buy it. Why don't they buy it? I don't hear that answer very often, but I'm sure they give an answer at some point. But the bottom line is that, if an atheist were to say that, they would have to discredit that view, that Christian, Judeo-Christian explanation of why there is pain and suffering in the world. And so until I, hear that, till an atheist explains it, so I would, encourage atheists to think about, why are you dismissing that? And is it good reason, or is it just simply, it's not true? And, that's what I would encourage an atheist to think about, to be critical about. Why are you dismissing that possibility? And so, another thing to think about with this is that I feel like atheists typically balk at that situation because why are we punished for the sins of a former generation? Why wouldn't it start fresh? But, that concept of punishing just the individuals who did it, it really doesn't make sense because, human beings bleed into each other in a sense. And, if punishment is corrective, then that corrective force needs to be influencing beyond that first generation, because it didn't get completed in that first generation. The correction process did not fully happen. And also, when there is a team, there are situations where if a team does wrong, the next generation in that team, the next group in that team, that there's freshmen that come along, so to speak, if it were in the sports world, that get punished for that, issue. So I think what is the problem, is another thing for atheists to think critically about is, where is your view? Is your view in the human race as individuals, or as a team, as a society, as a group? And if you're trying to correct individuals' lives, then just apply it to that individual. But if it's more of a team aspect, which is written into the fabric of human life, then you're trying to correct that team. Until that process is done, then pain needs to stay in the world. So, obviously there's more to build upon that, and it's hard for any human being to see why there needs to be pain, and why there's sort of a carryover into other generations. But we really need to look critically at that and say, has the pain resulted in correction? Has the punishment resulted in corrected behavior? And the answer is no. But then we have to look at, is this pain, this is more on the Christian side, is this pain even going to cause correction? Is it going to correct? And I think that this pain does one of two things. It forces people to reject God, which it doesn't force them to, but people want to reject God. Now, whether they're using pain in this world as an excuse to reject God, or whether it's a reason to reject God, I don't know, but I trust that there are people in this world that don't believe in God because there's a logical block. And so I don't know if that's true or not, but pain does seem to bring you in two directions, toward bitterness or towards thankfulness. How can pain bring you toward thankfulness? I think you're forced into thankfulness, because if you see the world in a painful, bitter way, it ends up really creating more pain in your own life, versus if you end up taking life in a positive tone and seeing the good in life and being thankful for the good in life, well, then it brings you into a positive tone and helps your life get better. But does that answer what atheists do? I think that another way to bring positivity into your life is to accept that pain is a natural part of this universe, because it's a random universe. You get good, you get bad. And that's their way of justifying why pain is in this world. And like I said at the beginning, the way that the Christian justifies pain being in the world is that it's corrective. And so I think that critically thinking about how pain is corrective, punishment is corrective, how is it correcting people's behavior? And that's a question that needs to be looked at. So keep critically thinking, whether you're on the atheist side or the Christian side. And I encourage you, because when you come to know the truth, whatever it is, I believe there's freedom in knowledge and growth and purpose in truth. And so don't quit thinking. Start crit thinking.